Let me tell y'all something. Brad really ain't shit this season, okay? And I'm all here for it. I am all here for it. If Loving You is wrong, season 3, I think this is what episode? We on episode what, 6 already? Being a woman. Child. Okay. I'm probably gonna zoom past this shit because I'm kinda tired. And being Mary Jane is on. But Jesus. Brad. Brad. Brad, Brad. First the fucking all, Randall, you got some goddamn nerves, okay? You got some goddamn nerves to be in your feelings. Girl, he came out there to that shed. Marcy, Marcy, bamming on the door. I said, first of all, you ain't doing it too much, and you can kick that door open if you really wanted it to get open. You know what I'm saying? He was just doing a lie. He was breaking down. He was giving you all type of theatrics. He was like, damn. Last week, since Ramsey was out there giving us all METs and everything, let me do what I got to do to get my METs too. So let me break down and cry and be up in my feelings. Bitch, when he opened up that door and saw Marcy and Brad in there fucking, they saw him. And they kept on fucking. Marcy, he was like, Brad, get off of her. Get out of her. I said, woohoo. I said, they gonna keep on fucking. Brad said, hell yeah. Because then when he got done with her, he was like, what the fuck? And then Brad came over there and closed the shed like, bitch, we not finished. I said, now I'm going to reiterate. 2 wrongs don't make a right. But I will make a fucking exception in this case because I can't stand Randall. And the shit that they did, it was just, oh, y'all know y'all was sitting there like, this shit is wrong as fuck, Brad. Marcy, y'all don't get back at them. You don't do a nigga like that. You don't get back at me like that. I know you did you wrong, but I was going to hit you right back. You don't get a nigga back like that. You don't do no shit like that. But at the same time, we was thinking like, that's what the fuck you get, nigga. That's what the fuck you get. Brad, go ahead and drill some more. I said, oh! And you had the nerve to be up in that house crying to your mammy. I said, chuck that shit up, bruh. Because what goes around comes around. And it's payback like a bitch. And the payback name is a big ass white dick fucking your wife in the shed just like you fucked his wife. I just said, you know what? The mama, then we say she was gonna coddle that motherfucker, and she's still doing it. Like, you don't have to, you don't deserve this. You out here getting cheated on, and I told you shouldn't have married that woman. And why you doing this? He was like, it's not that simple. It was like, y'all gonna wind up killing each other. Then Randall was like, we already did. Baby, what you talking about? Y'all ain't finna do nothing drastic. What y'all done did already? I said, Miss Louise, shut up. Just hold your son and just shut up, because you gonna take his side regardless, okay? And then, I was just like, Randall just broke down crying some more. I said, sir, stop it. Stop playing, bro. Marcy come up in the house, because first of all, he broke down crying again. And I was just looking at him like, you gotta have some nerves. Like, you crying over your wife, and you're mad that you caught your wife who deliberately fucked this man and made it so that you can catch them when you just came back from the hospital. Not even, see, the thing about it is, Marcy did that shit out in public, okay? She just put it out there. Yeah, bitch, I fucked him. Ain't no secret about it. Y'all can come in and y'all can see and peep all you want to. I want you to hurt. Your ass is sneaking around and you got fucking caught, okay? And then you still sneaking around. You just came back from the hospital to talk to Alex, telling this bitch that you love her and all this shit. And then, Kelly, let me jump on your ass for a second. Because you gonna come out there and knock on the, whatchamacallit, you knock on the shed, right? Get out of there. What you two are doing, you guys need to stop it. What you two are doing disgusts me. It's so disgusting. I said, hold up. Did you tell Alex that? Because I can't remember. Did she tell Alex and with so much force and disgust? I know she found out about, her being Pepper. She was like, but I don't remember her giving this much, to Alex when she found out about that affair. So now it's disgusting what they doing, but you ain't give the same amount of force to Alex. Bitch, please stop it, girl. Stop picking sides. I know they threw your ass up in the middle of this shit. You just so happen to be that friend that's friend with everybody, and you gotta hear from all sides, and you just like, God damn, bitch, I need a break. I got my own shit going on, and I don't need to be in the midst of all of this shit. But they put your ass in there, and you keeping yourself in there. And I see a bitch like me, I probably would love some mess like this, because I'd be like, because it ain't about me. It ain't about me. And it just makes me realize that, hey, I'm not as fucked up as I thought I was. Because look at what the shit and trash that y'all are doing. Okay? You over here fucking his wife, and she over here fucking your husband just because. And I'm in the middle just looking like, girl, yeah, they was out there in the shed. I ain't gonna tell you what they was doing, but you can infer. Next thing you know, Kelly out there on that car, and here come Alex trying to take the stuff off like she finna leave, calling Kelly to see what the fuck was up. And she was like, girl, what was going on? It was like, Brad, he was outside. What was he outside doing? And next thing you know, Brad sends her a picture of the shed. And I said, you know what? Alex antenna went up like, this motherfucker's out here doing some shit to hurt me. He just won't let me live. And I said, bitch, no. Okay? No, we won't. All right? Payback is a motherfucking bitch. It is called a shed. All right? I said, okay. And then Miss Louise is in the house going in on Marcy. When Marcy, she was like, bitch, you outside degrading yourself, and you being unfaithful, and you being a little tramp, and you letting this man just fuck you in the shed and all this stuff. Couldn't even take your ass to a hotel. And I said, same thing I said about how your son be doing. And then she just went the fuck in. Marcy sat on the table on the counter and was like, you know how that feel? Maybe you need to get your ass on, because obviously you wrap too tight. You need your springs loose, okay? You know how that feel, that taste of satisfaction and all this shit. Miss Louise slapped the fuck out of her, and Marcy and her reflexes was on point and slapped her ass back. And I said, wait a minute. Now see, I can't stand this show. Because usually I'd be like, bitch, you better respect your motherfucking elders. And then I would have been like, you don't cheat on that motherfucker just because he do that shit. But all that shit just went out the wayside on this fucking show. I'm just sitting here like, cheat on that motherfucker with his wife. I mean, with the husband. Go ahead, payback's a bitch. Slap that bitch back for touching you, because she ain't had no right to come up in your house, bumping her gun, being mad disrespectful and all that shit. Okay, y'all old people, sometimes y'all think just because y'all old, y'all automatically demand and supposed to get respect. Sometimes it work that way, but not all the time. Because, baby, let me tell you something. Come out of pocket with me, I'm going to respectfully somewhat disrespect you too. Okay, I'm going to get back at you in a respectful way. You're going to be confused like, did she just come for me? I'm a little bit confused. No. If you thought I came for you, I did, because you sent me. And so therefore I came. That's how it's going to be. You got to give respect, demand to get respect sometime. And what Miss Louise did, girl, Marcy, I'm surprised Marcy didn't fuck her ass up all the way already before. She called her a bitch too. Then here come Randall getting in the midst of it. Y'all stop. And I was like, girl, I thought he was going to holler at Marcy like, no, this is your fault. And, Miss Louise kept on talking, and Marcy was like, it wasn't me. Oh, it was your fucked up ass son. I was the one faithful. That motherfucker was fucking the bitch next door in the shed. Okay? After all these years, I was faithful to this bitch. Miss Louise standing there like this. Randall, it's true. I already know. I said, shut your face up. Broke Marcy down. I said, Marcy, don't you shed no more tears for these motherfuckers, okay? Get your ass out that house, okay? I know you ain't really got no money or whatever. You mean tell me you ain't got no friends? No real friends, because, Kelly, that you can sleep your head on their couch or something. They can put you up for a minute because they know how they feel. You need to find somebody. Go outsource somewhere, because this ain't working. This is not a healthy environment. You drinking yourself to death and shit over this shitless ass man. Like, come on. This motherfucker is crying like a big ass baby. Because you mad and you in your feelings that your wife then fucked around on you after you did all the dirt to her. Ain't that some shit? It's always like that. I can go out and cheat on you, but you bet not. I'ma beat the fuck out of you. I'ma divorce you. You gonna be all type of hoes and tramps if you go out and cheat on me. After I done did that. Okay, girl. But after that, so we moving on. Um, what else happened in this episode? Girl, Natalie, we back in the hood, okay? They do their project so wrong. I said, that looks so trashy, but I mean, I don't know how the projects is because I ain't never lived in the projects, but the projects around here, they ain't never really looked like, well, from my era when I was old enough to know what they were, I ain't ever seen them looking trashy like that. I said, y'all doing a little bit much, but okay. And we had some projects out here too. Maybe Cabrini Green probably looked like that, but then again, it probably cleaned up. Girl, I ain't got time for that. I don't do West Side and all that shit. But anyway, moving on. Y'all like, girl, get to the point. I am. Natalie was up in that bed asleep. She get a call from the manager or the owner of the her place that she work at, the burger place. He looking for his daughter. She going to see where Joey at. Joey ain't at the place at the house. She faking like he there. Here come Natalie going to the shop, to the burger place. Girl, Joey and Fawn up in there getting it in. Like, they getting it in, sweating and all this shit. And I said, you can't lie and say you wasn't digging it in there because you was literally on top of her. Y'all was just moaning and shit and bucket ass naked. So what the fuck was you doing? Because when Natalie came up in there, bitch, what the fuck? That's what she wanted to say, but you know, this is PG-13. Motherfucker, what the fuck you doing? Oh my God, go put some clothes on. Ma, it ain't what it look. Nigga, it is what it look like. Okay, y'all was fucking. That's what it looked like. I was about to say, Joey, shut your mouth and just put your clothes on. That whole time they was talking, Joey was standing there with no clothes on. No clothes on. Mind you, Fawn went to try to go get her clothes and shit, had her little titties and everything. Joey is sitting there with an erect penis that's probably shriveling at the moment, but still standing there bucket ass naked in front of his mama. I said, nigga, go put some clothes on. You know, so Natalie and her feelings about this shit. Ugh, y'all nasty. People eat, we prepare food on this stuff. I'm like they ain't gonna sterilize the shit down. And you know, I get Natalie being pissed off about what's happening, but Natalie comes down a little bit too hard on Joey sometimes. Like, she's a hard mom because she done went through some shit and she don't want her kids making the same mistake. So I gotta keep that in mind because the whole time I'm sitting here like, Natalie, you acting like you ain't never fucked before and you ain't never fucked without a condom because that's how all your kids get here. I don't wear lock and stuff, but then who am I to judge? But I get the frustration. Like, bitch, I don't want no kids here. You can't really take care of them. You ain't stable on your own. I'm trying to keep you in line. But, you know, she got to loosen up a little bit. Just a little bit. But I get where her anger and frustration come. You know, because Joey did make some fuck up choices. He just got out of jail. So, of course, they back at the house. You know, Lucian come in the next day trying to take the kids to the school and all this stuff. Child, did you see when he was giving them gifts? He gave the little girls, first he gave his son a book bag. He was like, is this a new book bag? I said, it's flat as fuck. Of course it's a new book bag. Still got the tag on it. Then the two little girls come out. He was like, I got this for you. The little girl in the pink shirt, she knew she was finna get some because she couldn't wait. She was just waiting there like, give me my stuff. And I said, girl, wait. You know how kids be. She just knew. I was like, And then here come Natalie. We talking about getting this house and shit, but we can't even live in a fucking apartment together. You know, I don't even know why I brought that up. You know, it is what it is. We're gonna move on from that. But I need you to go and talk to Joey about sex. And I said, ain't Joey like 20 some years old? That motherfucker done fuck more pussy than you think. Okay? He know what it is. But I thought again, I said, I mean, it is some motherfuckers that's out here that's 30 years old and don't know about STDs and don't know what the fuck a condom is, okay? And that little boy said, what's a condom? I said, take your ass to school. You don't need to find out just yet. But then again, you probably do. And, you know, Lucia went down the list. Do you know this? Do you know that? He was like, yeah. And when he got to HPV, he was like, yeah. Wait a minute, what's HPV? I said, then you don't know, boo. Go get a book. Google. It works, okay? And he was like, but I was fucking with Fawn, and you know, she was really freaky and shit. I said, hold on, Joey. Y'all ain't on that level yet, so don't be giving me all this information. That's what Lucian was talking about. Lucian was like, that little girl is old enough to be my daughter. I don't need to hear that shit. He was like, yeah, but she won't fucking like nobody daughter. I said, Joey, bye, okay? And is it me? But did Joey lift weights and was hitting the gym extra hard over the break between season 2 and this season? Because he look a little bit buff up. Okay. But moving on from that, what else happened? Girl, I didn't forget. I be getting so into it because I want to get everything. Okay, Alex was in the hospital. Brad back at his job, child. Eddie pops up. They up there talking. And Brad is continuing on his I don't give a fuck tour. Okay, Alex ain't shit tour. I'm finna fuck up her life tour just like she fucked up mine's tour. And I was just like, what you finna do? Why is this nigga up in here? Eddie was like, so why you ain't tell me about the baby? Okay, why you ain't tell me about this? What's my hoe ass, tramp ass cousin? I said, Eddie, you just don't give two shits about that side of your family. And then, Brad brought it up and was like, have you spoken to her Uncle Rusty? To Rusty? That's Alex's dad. He was like, I don't talk to that side of my family. What the fuck you want with him? He was like, I just think it's time for him to see his grandkids. And I said, Brad. His Brad real name probably Bradford. Y'all know it. Them English motherfuckers. Bradford. No, I ain't trying to be Bradford. Y'all know he look like it. This whole time I've been thinking that, and I finally said it. But no, Rusty, he was like, girl, I don't talk to him. He think you're a communist, and he like the most bigoted person, don't want to sit by homosexuals, don't like black person, people and all this stuff. He don't like minorities and all this shit. And I said, Bradford, I see what you're doing. And he just trying to get this shit all caught up. I said, you really trying to get Alex just fucked? You are really trying to get this revenge. Okay. Y'all know. He want him to see his black grandbaby. Mm. So after that, we get this scene with Ben is back at the police station, right? He sees, first of all, we see Pete trying to look at the surveillance footage, that video, and it's not working on the computer. Meanwhile, Steve is over there looking over his shoulder like, what you trying to look at? And he was like, that file, that type of, shit don't work on these computers. He was like, oh, okay. So what you doing? Pete was like, nothing. I was like, damn, Steve, mind your business, because you keep on trying to cover up your tracks and stuff. Next thing you know, Ben comes in trying to talk to him like, yo, what's up? I'm back on desk duty. So what you doing tonight? Come get some beers and stuff. He was like, my girl at home. He was like, it's me. He was like, okay, cool. But if Eddie is there, hell no. He was like, what's wrong with Eddie? That nigga is bad news and you know it. Here come Ben. No, he cool, but it is what it is. And I said, he cool. Motherfucker, look at your hand. Your hand is looking like this. Girl, he ain't cool. Okay? And basically what I feel like gonna happen is, because Ben tried to convince him that Eddie wasn't going to be there. Eddie probably going to pop up and be there, and they're going to try to beat him and get that tape from him. Okay, Ben is setting Pete up, and I hope Pete do not fall for the bait. Because on the phone, Eddie did tell Ben to keep an eye on Pete for the whole damn time. Oh, excuse me, that's disgusting. Let's get to Kelly. Kelly shit. Lil Justice is out playing baseball. Travis done brought him back. And, he all good shit. Mama, I did this. Mama, I did that. Kelly like, oh, that's nice. Travis finna take his shoes off. Kelly finna, Justice finna go up there, take a little shower. He was like, that's man sweat that you smelling. I smell like a man. I said, get your little ass up there and wash your ass all the way like a man, okay? Don't leave nothing in between. All right, because you look like you funky. You look like you smell like outside. You know when old people say that shit. You look like you smell like outside. You smell like outside. But anyway, here come Travis trying to take his shit off. He took that as an invitation to come in the house and just kick it. Kelly said, boo-boo, you gotta go. And he was like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this shit. You fuck me and then you send me on my merry way. I'm tired of this. You can't keep playing with me like this. And she was like, I don't give a damn. Get your ass out my house. And then she bent over to get something out the oven. He was just looking. I said, I see what you doing, Kelly. You better fucking make that nigga faint. Kelly gonna wind up fucking him. They gonna wind up getting back together. But then again, I don't know, because before they even, Ramsey gonna throw a monkey wrench in the plan, because I got a feeling she gonna fuck around with Ramsey before she get back with Travis. And it's gonna be a debate like, damn, Ramsey is here and he ain't got nothing, no baggage besides the dead mama just holding him back. But then I got this bullshit with Travis and the shit that he did and the way he hurt me. She probably gonna be fucking with both of them. I got a feeling, And he just getting all up in his feelings and was like, Kelly was like, I could do whatever I want in my house, have anybody up in here. He was like, you better not have no man up in here in this house. She was like, first of all, this is my house, okay? the house that I had to get and beg for another promotion so I can pay these bills and work overtime so I can pay the note on since your ass didn't want to do this shit. This is my house. And if I want to have a man all up and through this bitch, I will have a man all up and through this bitch. And I said, go ahead, Jody's mama. Go ahead. Reciting that shit from Baby Boy. But, next thing you know, Ramsey come to the door trying to give her something and say thank you for being there for me. Here go Travis. Who is this? Who this man, Kelly? Who this man? Bruh, I know you hear me talking to you. Ramsey is looking at him like, Kelly, so thank you. You know, my mama wanted to get, and I said, whoo, Travis, if I was you, you look like you grew up in a shelter ass life, which you did, and you look like you ain't never had to throw them hands like that. Mind you, Ramsey look like he done went through some shit, okay? He know how to throw them bows. And you just don't know. Your face look like you know how to catch them. That's what you look like, Travis, okay? And you don't want none of that. So you need to calm the fuck down. And when dude was like, she was helping me when my mama died. Here go Travis. Oh man, I'm sorry. My condolences. Kelly said, get your ass out of here with your rude shit. I said, okay. So at the very end of this episode, Marcy was up in her room. Sitting up in my room. And we're just doing that. Okay. No, never mind. I'm not do that. I had a flashback or something. But Marcy sitting up in her room. Miss Louise come up in there like, girl, let me tell you something. See, I should have known when he came out here with that little white girl when he was out there in Denver. You know, she didn't stay with him. They went to a hotel, and I should have known. I said, so wait a minute, and please put that in the comments because I was a little bit confused. Was she saying that, okay, she was saying that her son, she knew he was cheating, right? And he had another bitch, okay? But was he saying that he brought Alex up there? Or was it somebody else? And basically, you know, she was like, I took up for my son because I just didn't think that he would do something that his daddy did to her. The daddy did the same thing to the mama, fuck with one of her friends and all that shit. And then she had the nerve to try to sympathize or empathize with Marcy, and then kind of, you know, throw it out there like, bitch, I don't give a fuck how bad it is that I was hurting, but it wasn't no much hurt to make me go fuck somebody else. And I said, okay. People handle their pain differently, you know. You don't know the situation. And I was like, okay, Miss Louise, I get it. I get it. You partly right, but I just don't want you to be right, okay? Because I really don't like the way you came in. Now you trying to clear the shit up. And she was like, you know, but whatever you do, just remember, even if we don't ever talk again, what you do now gonna determine your future and how you stand in it. You need to take that pain and you need to stand in it and stuff. And you want to know what that's called? It's called being a woman. And I was like, okay, you know, that's what you want to say. Marcy broke down crying. I said, first of all, she's trying to give us on a drink. And I said, Marcy, do not drink that shit because it could be poison. You know, she's trying to get back at you for all the words that you said to her, even though she caused it. But anyway, we're going to move on from that. Brad is outside burning some memories and stuff. Kelly nosy ass come over there like, Brad, what are you doing? He was like, burning memories. Kelly was like, are you sure you want to do that? Stop it, Brad. What about the kids? It was like, you know, this box, I was gonna burn it, but you know, this is how me and the kids determined, me and Alex determined the kid's name and all this shit. I thought we was gonna do this together as a family and say, you know, come up with the baby name and all that stuff. But I got something else for Alex that I want her to see, and I'm gonna show and see what she gonna do. And then the shit went off, and I said, baby, what you talking about? Girl, on the preview, he took up that motherfucker really is going all out. He was filming them. And I said, so you set this shit up. You was sitting here like, I'm popping that ass. And I said, goddamn, Brad. Mind you, did you catch it at the beginning when Randall's mama was like, and he was out there, she was out there in that shed for hours. And I said, well, damn, Brad was fucking Marcy for hours and only gave Alex 2 minutes. Made less than that to a minute and a half because he was already buckling up his stuff at 11:09 from 11:07. He gave Alex 2 pumps, okay? 1, 2, maybe 3, bust the nut, put his shirt back on, and went back to doing his taxes. he was in the shed with Marcy for a minute. And mind you, Marcy said last week that it was big. I said, oh my God, y'all are disgusting. This shit is disgusting. Oh my God, I should be looking at this shit. But anyway, y'all tell me how y'all feel about this. If I missed something, because I feel like I did, but I probably didn't, y'all will put it down in the comments. And girl, yeah, next week gonna be some shit. I see y'all later. I gotta look at being Mary Jane.